Welcome to Power to Unlocked. Today, we're diving deep into a question that most people never dare to ask. Can you truly win respect without being liked? It's a tricky balance, one that's puzzled leaders, thinkers, and everyday people for centuries. What if I told you that gaining respect doesn't require being everyone's friend? In fact, sometimes trying to be liked can cost you the respect you crave. This isn't about popularity or charm, it's about power, influence, and the kind of respect that lasts even when you're not the most popular person in the room. And to explore this, we'll turn to one of history's most controversial thinkers, Niccolò Machiavelli. Machiavelli lived in a time where survival in the cutthroat world of politics depended on more than just friendship. His ideas challenge everything we think about leadership and respect. Imagine a world where being liked is a luxury you can't afford, where respect must be earned through strategy, strength, and sometimes tough decisions. How do you build authority when your actions might make you unpopular? How can respect exist alongside fear or even dislike? These are the questions Machiavelli wrestled with, and today we'll unpack his timeless advice to help you understand the fine line between being liked and being respected. But why does this matter to you? In today's world, whether in the workplace, your social circles, or even online, the pressure to be liked is everywhere. Social media pushes us to seek approval, to gather likes and followers, and to be accepted by the crowd. Yet, history shows us leaders who were respected but not necessarily liked, and their influence shaped entire nations. Respect, unlike likability, is a currency of power that doesn't fade with popularity contests. It commands attention, obedience, and trust in ways that liking someone simply cannot. As we explore this topic, keep in mind the central characters not just from Machiavelli's world, but from your own life. The boss who never smiles but gets things done, the friend who challenges you but never lets you down, or the stranger whose confidence demands attention. How do they earn respect? And more importantly, how do you navigate the space between wanting to be liked and needing to be respected? In this video, we'll peel back the layers of Machiavellian philosophy, breaking down complex ideas into real-world advice you can apply. We'll reveal secrets to maintaining authority without sacrificing your integrity, how to hold your ground when being liked is off the table, and why sometimes earning respect means embracing discomfort. But here's the catch. This journey isn't simple or comfortable. It forces us to question our assumptions about relationships, leadership, and influence. By the end of this video, you won't just understand Machiavelli's perspective, you'll see why winning respect without being liked might be the most valuable skill you never learned. But be warned, some of the truths we uncover will challenge how you think about power and connection. So, are you ready to face the uncomfortable truths about respect? To step into a mindset that values strength over smiles and influence over approval? Stay with me, because what comes next will surprise you, and it just might change how you lead your life forever. To really understand why respect can come without being liked, we need to look back at the world Machiavelli lived in, a world of shifting alliances, power struggles, and ruthless politics. Italy, in the early 1500s, was a place where survival wasn't about winning friends, but about outsmarting enemies. Machiavelli witnessed firsthand how leaders who prioritized popularity over authority often fell from power quickly. The stakes were high. Respect was a matter of life and death, not just social approval. This history gives us a glimpse into why he argued that being liked is less important than being respected, and sometimes you have to make hard choices that won't win you any friends. But this isn't just some old political theory stuck in the past. The tension between being liked and respected plays out in daily life for all of us. Think about a manager at work who's always trying to be the nice guy but struggles to get results. or a parent who wants to be their child's best friend but finds it hard to set boundaries. These are the real-life dramas where Machiavelli's ideas come alive. Respect builds order, trust, and discipline, things that can't be bought with smiles or approval. Yet pursuing respect can feel lonely. It often means standing firm when others expect you to bend or making decisions that don't win applause. That's the conflict many face every day, caught between wanting connection and needing authority. This is where things get complicated and fascinating. How far should someone go to earn respect without losing themselves or their values? Can respect come from fear, or is it only real when mixed with genuine admiration? Machiavelli's writings don't offer easy answers. Instead, they force us to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature and power. His lessons hint at a delicate dance. One misstep and respect can turn into resentment, but mastered well, it can give you influence that lasts far beyond fleeting popularity. As we unravel these ideas, we'll meet stories, some from history, others from everyday life, that show this balance in action. People who rose to power or led with quiet strength, not because they were liked, but because they commanded respect. And we'll see the risks they took, the sacrifices they made, and the costs they paid when they chose respect over being liked. So what does all this mean for you? How do you apply these lessons in a world that often demands we be both liked and respected all at once? The answer isn't simple, and it won't come without challenge. But as we dig deeper, you'll start to see a path forward, one that might just change how you think about leadership, influence, and even your own relationships. The real question is, are you ready to take that path? Because the next part of our story is where the true test begins, where theory meets reality, and where your own ideas about respect and liking will be pushed to their limits. But the struggle between being liked and being respected isn't just a simple choice. It's a constant battle that plays out in many layers of our lives. Take the example of a leader trying to keep a team united. If they focus too much on being liked, they might avoid tough conversations or shy away from holding people accountable. The team feels comfortable, sure, but slowly loses direction and respect for the leader's authority. On the other hand, a leader who demands respect without seeking approval can be seen as cold or unapproachable. The team might follow orders, but secretly wish for someone more relatable. This tension is at the heart of many leadership dilemmas, and it's one Machiavelli knew well. Look closer, and you'll see this conflict in friendships and families too. Sometimes, a parent chooses discipline over popularity to teach important lessons. They may not be the fun parent, but their children grow up respecting their guidance. Or think about friendships where honesty can hurt feelings. Telling the truth might cost likability, but builds deeper respect over time. These situations highlight how respect can come at the expense of being liked, and how complicated that balance is. It forces us to ask, what's more important, being liked for who we are or respected for what we stand for? There's also the question of fear versus respect. Machiavelli famously suggested it's safer to be feared than loved, if you can't be both. But what does that mean for real relationships? Can respect built on fear truly last, or does it just breed resentment underneath the surface? Many have wrestled with this idea, wondering if true respect must come with warmth and connection, or if firmness and boundaries alone are enough. As we explore these perspectives, the tension grows. How do we lead, live, and connect when respect and liking pull us in opposite directions? The answers are anything but clear, but the journey to find them will reveal much about power, influence, and the human heart, and it's only just beginning. As the pressure mounts, the true cost of choosing respect over being liked starts to show. The leader who once balanced the line now finds the scales tipping. Conversations grow colder, trust feels fragile, and whispers begin in the shadows. People start to question motives, wondering if respect earned through strictness is worth the loneliness it brings. The friendships that once softened hard decisions now feel distant, as if the gap between authority and affection has widened too far. It's the moment where theory confronts reality, and nothing feels certain anymore. The tension isn't just external. Inside, the struggle is just as fierce. Doubts creep in, nagging at the heart. Was it worth it to sacrifice connection for control? Can respect truly stand firm without some trace of warmth? The questions swirl, unanswered, feeding an inner conflict that's as powerful as the one playing out in the world around. The risk of losing both respect and being liked feels more real than ever, a delicate balance hanging by a thread. Meanwhile, those watching from the sidelines sense something shifting too. Allies become cautious, unsure whether to stand firm or retreat. Enemies smell weakness and prepare to strike. The battlefield is no longer just about winning respect. It's about survival in a world where being disliked can make you vulnerable. The stakes have never been higher, and every decision carries weight that could change everything. At this breaking point, the story hangs in the balance. The leader, the team, the friends, all face a choice that could redefine their future. The old rules no longer apply, and the cost of misstep feels unbearable. It's the moment before the storm, the pause before the clash, that will reveal who truly understands what it means to win respect without being liked. The question now is, what will happen when the pressure finally breaks? Just when it seemed the tension had reached its peak, an unexpected shift rattled the entire balance. The leader's closest ally, once a steadfast supporter, began to question the path taken. Quiet conversations in hushed tones revealed doubts and fears, not about the leader's strength, but about the cost of that strength. Could respect built on distance and toughness survive the cracks forming beneath? This betrayal wasn't loud or dramatic, but subtle, a whisper that spread uncertainty like wildfire. This twist didn't just threaten the leader's authority, it shook the foundation of everything they had built. The team that once followed without hesitation now hesitated, caught between loyalty and fear of losing connection. The subtle divide between respect and liking grew into a chasm no one dared to cross openly. What once seemed like a clear strategy suddenly felt like walking a razor's edge, where one wrong move could mean falling into isolation or losing control altogether. Adding to the turmoil, external pressures intensified. Rival forces, those who envied the leader's influence, seized on this internal weakness, pushing harder, testing limits. The leader found themselves cornered, forced to make decisions that felt impossible. Every choice risked alienating more people, every action risked backlash. The stakes had never been higher, and the line between respect and fear blurred dangerously. Meanwhile, beneath the surface, another struggle emerged. The leader's own doubts deepened, no longer just about tactics, but about identity. Who were they if they couldn't be both respected and liked? Could they lead without losing their humanity? This internal conflict grew as loud as the external threats, tearing at the core of what it meant to hold power. The very essence of influence, respect earned without liking, now demanded a price that felt heavier than ever imagined. The story had transformed from a simple battle between respect and popularity into a complex web of trust, betrayal, power, and loneliness. The audience can almost feel the weight of decisions hanging in the air, the unspoken question looming. Is it possible to win respect without sacrificing everything that makes us human? The answer remains just out of reach, drawing us deeper into a story where every moment pulses with suspense, and the outcome could change everything. Just when everything seemed on the edge of collapse, the leader made a decision that would change the course of the story. Instead of pushing harder to demand respect or desperately trying to win back liking, they chose something unexpected: vulnerability. In a moment that surprised everyone, the leader admitted their doubts, their fears, and the loneliness that had come with this struggle. It wasn't a show of weakness, but a powerful act of honesty that shifted the atmosphere completely. This act of openness broke down walls that authority and fear had built. The team, the allies, even the quiet doubters began to see the leader not just as a distant figure to obey, but as a real person who bore the same struggles they did. Respect grew deeper, rooted now in genuine connection rather than just power or distance. The leader didn't abandon strength, but redefined it, strength paired with humility. This balance was the true secret to winning respect without being liked outright. It wasn't about choosing one over the other, but understanding the human complexity behind both. At the same time, the rival forces, expecting to exploit weakness, found themselves met with something they hadn't anticipated: resilience born from authenticity. The leader's renewed approach inspired loyalty not because people felt obligated, but because they chose to follow. The tension that had threatened to tear everything apart began to dissolve, replaced by a new, stronger foundation. But just as the story seemed to reach a satisfying resolution, the final twist appeared. The leader's closest ally, the one whose quiet doubts had nearly fractured the group, stepped forward with a confession. Their hesitation wasn't born from betrayal, but fear of the leader's own self-doubt, spreading like wildfire. They had tested the limits not to undermine, but to protect, hoping the leader would find their way back before losing themselves completely. This revelation added a new layer to the story, showing that even those who seem to oppose us may act from care and concern. It reminded everyone that respect and liking aren't always clear-cut opposites, but intertwined threads in the complex fabric of human relationships. In the end, the story leaves us with a powerful lesson. Winning respect without being liked isn't about cold control or fear. It's about courage. The courage to be real, imperfect, and human, even when the stakes are highest. And it's in that honesty that true influence is born. With that confession, a new chapter began, one where respect and liking no longer seemed like opposing forces, but parts of a whole. The leader and their ally, once caught in a silent battle of doubts and fears, found common ground in honesty and trust. The team, once divided by uncertainty, started to heal as genuine conversations replaced whispered suspicions. What had felt like a high-stakes game of power shifted into a shared journey of growth. Looking back, it became clear that the tension between winning respect and being liked is not a simple either-or. It's messy, complicated, and deeply human. Sometimes respect requires tough choices, firm boundaries, and moments of solitude. Other times it demands openness, empathy, and the willingness to be vulnerable. The leader learned that true influence comes not from pretending to be perfect or always strong, but from embracing the full spectrum of human experience. The story also showed us that leadership and relationships thrive when we understand the people around us, their fears, hopes, and motivations. Even those who challenge us may do so out of care, not malice. Recognizing this helps build bridges where walls once stood. Respect gained through connection lasts longer and feels more meaningful than respect demanded through fear or distance. For anyone watching, this story offers a reminder. You don't have to be liked by everyone to be respected. And in fact, trying too hard to be liked can sometimes blur your true purpose. But respect earned with honesty, courage, and empathy can change how people see you, not just as a figure of authority, but as a human being worth following. So, if you find yourself caught between wanting to be liked and needing to be respected, remember this: strength and vulnerability aren't enemies. They're partners in the dance of influence. Embrace both, and you might discover a kind of power that feels real, lasting, and deeply rewarding. Thank you for joining this exploration of Machiavelli's timeless lesson. If this story resonated with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more insights that unlock your potential. And remember, respect without liking is possible, but respect with authenticity is unstoppable.